Alright, welcome back. This is James Possible. And I think I said in the last video that was going to be the last one, right? Oh well. I'm just trying to give you a good basic, try to cover enough that you can play with this on your own. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, okay? I'll be happy to answer what I can. Again, I'm not like a super Excel geek. I like to think I'm pretty good at it. I do make some pretty advanced spreadsheets, but there are people that run circles around me, and I know that, and so I'm not trying to win Guru of the Year award, okay? I'm just trying to give you some basics so you can work with price data and begin to do some, some thinking, some analysis, some strategizing on your own, okay? So this is where we left off, and the one thing I didn't talk about, and I can't believe that I didn't say this, so I just double-clicked that to get rid of that vertical bar, is I didn't save this file, right? So I'm going to do a save. I just did. And then this second sheet, remember the second sheet we added early in the beginning, right? Well, now it's going to become important. So the first thing, we save this as, so file, let's do save as, and then you'll see. So this is a pound CAD M15 data, right? Now, we did all this work. The last thing you want to have to do is recreate all of this, right? And you're going to look at more than one pair. So what we want to do is we want to make this a template that you can use again and again and again. Now, the way I'm going to make it a template may not be like the Microsoft way, but I'm just going to show you how I do it, okay? So I'm going to do File, Save As, and now I am going to call this MT4-Data Calculations-Analysis. And I could even, sometimes I like to call things like master. That way I know what that file is all about. Okay, so this is going to be my master, so I want to do some things that allow me to use this over and over and over. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, I'm going to double click on this, on the worksheet name, the tab down at the bottom, where it says GBP CAD 15-M15, and I'm going to call this MT4 Data Calculations. And then this one that says Sheet 1, I'm going to double click on that, and I'm going to call this Copy Paste, and you'll understand why shortly. Okay? Now I'm going to highlight the data that was imported from MT4. And you got to remember that I've added columns and done some manipulation, so it's no longer all contiguous, right? There's separations in the data. So this is why you see green, white, green, white, 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 green, okay? But date, time, open, high, low, close, volume are the data elements that originally come from MetaTrader 4. So I'm going to do File, Save, and now let's take this the next step. let's go back to MetaTrader 4, and I am going to remove all those little extra things I did, you know, vertical lines and rectangles. And yeah, there's one right there. Boom. Now I'm just back to the basic charts, okay? Okay, now what I want to do, I'm going to do F8. I'm going to turn off the scaling. Boom. Subtract that a little. Now I'm going to go into a really common pair, one of the majors, EUR USD, which is the Euro USD, the Euro US dollar, right? And here we are. Now remember, Control O, we're still set on max bars of 4,500, right? So now let's go to F2, which is going to take us to History Center. We're still on pound CAD, but let's go up above that, the Euro US, double click that. I can do a download. It should be pretty quick. It's going to do recalculations. I say yes. See how fast it's loading, because I've already downloaded the Euro USD data. So boom, it's done. Let's go to the M15. So we're starting at 226,730, going to the last one, which is December 18th, 2017, hour 2100. And I'm just going to hit export. EUR, USD, boom. It's done, it's quick. If it takes longer, you'll see that the buttons won't refresh quickly. Okay, so now we have the data from the Euro US, right? So I'm going to double click that. So I'm at row 1. I'm at the top. You know, I can do Control Home. That puts me at A1. I'm going to highlight all the data. I'm going to do a Control Copy, or you can do right click, Copy. Now I'm going to go back to the MT4 Data Calculations Analysis Master, right? I'm going to make sure that I'm on the Copy and Paste tab. Control Home, and then I could right click and paste, insert copied cells, or I can just do a shift insert and boom, there they are, right? Now I'm going to go back to the Euro US CSV file. I'm going to close that, and now we're back to the MT4 Data Calculations Analysis Master. We are now going to be working with Euro USD data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File, Save As, EUR USD. Alright, so now the master is safe. I'm not going to change anything in that. And the first column is date. So remember, the green is the data that I want to import, right? So again, Control Home. I'm going to copy everything in column A. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paste it into the date column. Now I'm going to go back to copy paste. The second column, which is time, I'm going to do Control Copy. There's time. Again, Control Home. Now I'm going to do open, high, low, close, volume, Control Copy. Go over here to open, paste, and just hit escape here. File, save, and guess what? We just imported the data from EURUSD, and all of our calculations are still there. Voila. So it looks a little bit different. Max pip range, instead of 190, now it's 76. Minimum is 0, so there's obviously an even there. Average pip range, instead of 13, we have 8.7. So you can see the pairs, you're going to have this variance in pip ranges and stuff. And so this is where the data, this kind of data, even this simple data analysis can really give you some insight into the data. So you have expectations that are real and driven by the data that you're going to be trading. Pips, candles 10 pips or higher, 1300. I think we had what, 2200 in the pound CAD. Greater than, equal to, or greater than 20. 181 candles over 4,500 candles. 30 pips or higher, 35. And now here's the interesting change, right? It was pretty much even up and down candles on the pound CAD. Well, look at there's a difference here. The up candles, there's almost 51% of them are up candles, 48% were down candles, and then 1% was even. So that's a little bit of a change. The max trend that was found was 13 instead of 11. And let's slide down here, 5, 19 occurrences, 6 in a row, 52, you can see it, 9, all the way to 11. And actually, we can go a step further, right? That would be 12, 13, since we know the number's bigger. And actually, there's a way to make this so it actually does this without me having to copy and paste. But that's beyond the scope of this discussion. Okay, so there we go. And again, so remember that parentheses, right? Do control find, parentheses, find next. And I am going to get rid of this highlight since the data is different. Control find. Oh yeah. Let's get rid of that. Control find. I'm just going to page through this real quick. Yeah, I just want to get rid of this stuff right here. This highlight. Okay. Go back up to the top. Let's do control find. We had one that was 1, 3, right? 13. Boom, and there's our 13. So let's highlight this. So the first candle, let's do this. First candle, the open. Okay, so we're moving down. So this range, this 13 candle range is pushing down, right? The trend is down. Okay, so let's figure out how many pips actually happen. So we're at the first candle, so the first candle in that range, we want to look at the open. Then we want to subtract the close from the last candle, and we want to divide it by 10. And quite a bit different. So in this range we have a 90 pip drop, 95 pip drop. So if we go to the left, and I'm going to drag this vertical bar over here, this way I can slide back over here. We can look at both at the same time. Okay, so we're looking at the 17th of January at 20:45, right? Let's go back to the chart. 17th of January, 21:45. Boom. You should be able to see the range already. Control Y, just all I did was turn off the period breaks. Did I get the, I think I got the 20:45, my bad. $20.45. Okay, so there's the start of that range, and there's the whole range. 95 pips. And see how easy it was to find that range. So, I mean, if that's what you're looking for as far as a pattern, and again, I know this is a very simple pattern. I don't know, but if you have some ideas around this, see how easy it is to find it. And you can get really advanced with this, again, always. I don't know what I was doing. Okay. But anyway, so what we did was we say, and remember, when you're working in Excel or any kind of files where you're saving a lot, doing a lot of stuff, just get in the habit of saving as you're going through it. That way, if you have a system crash, you have a power outage, you have a fairly recent save and you don't lose a whole lot of work. But there it is. We're done. This last, looks like this last video was a little bit long. Again, I did my best to keep this short, but this gives you the basics of extracting data from MetaTrader 4, importing that data into Excel, and then it gives you the beginning of how you might want to do some data analysis. You at least see some of the things that I do to begin how to set it up so I can do some more advanced processing and whatnot. Like I have templates that where I'm storing 8 years of data. So I have some pretty complicated calculations going on, so I can look, so I can just drop in literally 8 years of data and look it over and analyze it and study it, and then decide how I might, what kind of strategy I might want to be using with a particular pair, because every pair has a little bit different way of moving, a personality, if you will, and this is a great way to break down that personality. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found these 10 videos helpful. Again, this is such a deep subject, I could have easily created another 20 videos on top of this, showing more advanced stuff, and it's just, there's no end to how far you can go, and Excel just makes it so easy. You don't have to be a quant, a statistical guru. With Excel and Google you can figure out so many things. So again, thank you for joining me. Any comments and questions below? I will do my best to respond and answer. Again, thank you. I can't thank you enough. This is part of my forex journey. Yeah, this is, my head thinks like this. Patterns, data. So I'm constantly working through these kind of thoughts in my head, which may not be typical for everybody, but that's okay. You got to figure out what works for you, and then follow that path. And eventually you will, as you test and put things into practice, you'll begin to develop a style, a method of trading that does work for you. So again, thank you, and I look forward to sharing with you on my many other videos as I share just all the different pieces and parts of my journey as a forex trader. Bye for now.